Hello everyone, my name is Radu Magdin. I'm here in Bucharest and I'm very happy to introduce you to ELI, our Empowerment and Leadership Initiative. And since this is early March, I would like, together with our team, to put on your radar some aspects which may be relevant for your interests as regards women and power. It's not by chance that ELI deals with empowerment. So today we're going to be putting on your radar 12 aspects, and we're going to work clockwise. 12 aspects which can help you develop a better sense on how to deal with power and how to advance empowerment. Not only in March, also for the rest of the year, but we're using this symbolic opportunity to advance our common cause for the future. So first of all, if I may say 1 o'clock, identity or definition. It's really important whenever you're talking about empowerment, whenever you're talking about power games or leadership perspectives, to have a clear identity. Ladies, define yourselves, define your cause before somebody else does that for you. So identity and definition is step number 1. Second, battle mode. Prepare for a battle. Never have things been simple for the cause of empowerment, particularly at a wider human history scale. So again, be aware of the fact that you are waging a battle, that there is always a battle between change and the current status quo. And if you're not comfortable with the way things stand, be ready to advance and to assume the battle for change. Third, in this battle for change, be aware of both misconceptions and the ways to create authority. Misconceptions, in a majority of cases, work against us. We hear all too often that for a specific position, it has to be a man that is capable to do that, or it takes manly skills to do that. Right? We have to work together on addressing these misconceptions. And there is a lot of reframing in context to do. But reframings, any kind of, let's say, such spinning, which would allow us to convey a message of normalcy for the cause of empowerment, that demands also some specific change on our behalf. How do we create authority? Authority is also created via specific, not only wording, but also a specific tonality and a powerful body language. Next, because we already spoke earlier about the idea of a cause, let's look more into how we're getting the emotions on board from that cause. Politics and power is emotional. Very often we hear about our gut feeling. We hear about, the ways we can bring electricity, for a specific cause and to mobilize people in a specific direction. Emotions are a key part of this. And in order to create a wave of emotions, to bring electricity to your cause, you also have to have the next step, namely moral ascendancy. Some people call this moral domination, some people say moral high ground. I would simply say a just cause. Having morals on your side, seeming entitled, rightfully entitled to do something. So again, don't underestimate this moral ascendancy. And we're passing right now from emotions and linking up to moral ascendancy to reason, because we have to wage the battle of ideas. This battle of ideas is winnable from time to time, ranging from the universal vote to other niche victories. We managed in time, in the past decades, to win the battle of ideas. For our next step, whether we're talking about women representation in boards or let's say a higher representation of women in politics, this battle of ideas is our next step forward. Now, speaking of ideas, you should also be aware of something. Action is always stronger arguments. So for your next level, I would like to put on your radar the idea of fait accompli. So the things which are actually done on the ground. Again, once we manage to change realities, then we can also align the arguments. Sometimes we build on arguments, we build on emotions in order to change realities, to sway, hearts and minds in a specific direction. But all too often it happens that we need a daring action for people to become aware that time is ripe for empowerment in a specific area, whether we're talking about politics, business, civil society, or somewhere else where empowerment is needed. Next, don't neglect mentorship and experience. We are tempted from time to time, combined with energy which normally comes from youthful attitudes, to ignore experience. Don't. Mentorship is important. At the end of the day, in order to advance our cause in society, we need a cross-generational alliance. This alliance is made up of people with energy, with ideas, with enthusiasm, but also people who perhaps may have been taken unsuccessful battles at a certain moment in time, but they have the experience and they have what it takes to be able to join ideas and energy with us to advance our common cause. So don't ignore mentorship and experience. Also in context, separate from, let's say, an alliance with experience, let's do also other niche and gender alliances. All too often we hear in business and politics that sometimes we may be having more sympathetic allies from the other side, like at the global level we also have an initiative which is called He for She. But first of all, for our cause, let us first join ranks and make a wider flank for the cause we're believing in, and also remember that whenever we're talking about an alliance, we should also be crafting bridges towards other people and interests who may be having, let's say, need of some niche help, and they will be able to reciprocate. Whether we're talking about a niche, about a youth niche, whether we're talking about a specific industrial niche, it does not matter. The important thing is that we reciprocate and we empower ourselves on our joint causes of interest. Going beyond this, remember that beyond normal, and whatever normal nowadays means in COVID, periodically we're going to be faced with crisis. And something, speaking of lessons of power for empowerment, we should be on your radar, is the fact that interest is overwhelming. And interest in the majority of cases goes beyond gratitude. So beyond helping a lot of people, let us make appeal also to people's interest. Let's from time to time be generous, but also remember that we can be transactional as well in order to achieve our higher purpose. So remember, cultivate interest in parallel with any kind of sense of gratitude. Last but not least, our final 2 points, the spirit of our time, the zeitgeist, but also something on niche or stage victories. First of all, the spirit of our time, or the zeitgeist. We live in an era where, thank God, we hear much more often about the cause of empowerment. Not only in a context where we have a legitimate outcry, like the campaign dealing with Me Too, but also in a more positive arena in the sense that it's normal. So it's an issue of normalcy, of common sense, to have equal representation, to have no discrimination. So from this perspective, women empowerment is one of the big music tunes of our time. Let us use this in terms of better access to our specific local and global audiences. Last but not least, an issue of balance, energy, and stage victories. Unless we're very, very lucky, societal change does not happen from one day to another, not even from 1 week to another, not to mention 1 month to another. So it's important to be both enthusiastic, pushy in a good sense, but also to manage one's inner balance and energy well. We may not each time be able to win the war for our cause, so we have from time to time to settle with winning a specific battle. From this perspective, my team's invitation towards you is take care of your inner balance. Get charged by each victory you win, no matter the stage. And with this energy, go forward to win, let's say, on the wider path we have chosen. Welcome to ELI. Once again, we're happy to be working with you to advance the cause of empowerment around the world. And happy March, ladies around the world.